The Ralph says, I have some anxiety over my future. So you're telling me there is something waiting for us that is called future? Or is it when we get to it is actually today, present? Like, there is no tomorrow waiting for me. When it's tomorrow, it's today. So that's why we always want to live in the moment, right? But I know what you mean. You want to plan and execute your plan and prepare and to build something, so your other 2 days will not be as perhaps the way it is right now, which you're not maybe at your optimum or most satisfied or comfortable, and you want to have more things and have certain kind of a security, certain kind of a job that would provide for you and things like that. So I understand. So he says, I have some anxiety over my future. When I was younger, I lived for the moment. Coming out of a 10-year marriage relationship at 34, I find I can't relax being single. I feel this pressure that my best years are behind me. So I guess you're telling me I should go and die because I'm 63 almost, and I should have no bloody hope because many years have passed. But if you want to consider a life being a span of a line, and you want to consider the closer you are to the beginning, or somewhere in the middle, or somewhere in this line is the best time of your life, then somehow you're a magician to know what would have come, and you have enough information of what it would have been further down the line of this journey, and you know all that information, and you compare it with what it was in the past, what it is now, you decide this is the best part. Do you? Because if you do, you can be a billionaire. Everybody would want to know, how can you tell that your best years was behind you? Because I really figured out there were certain things that my best years may actually be ahead of me. In what context? Physically, okay, I've been a equestrian champion in many different events, and national and international. Yes, I won't be that anymore because I have to dedicate my time to it and have the same kind of circumstances and opportunities and training and same teacher and the inventory of horses and all that so forth. That's not in the cards. If I have time and money, I may actually do better than before, but kind of doubt it, because that needed a certain balance of youth and into the training everyday regimen, and didn't have the responsibilities that I have now, or the plans and preferences that I have now in my projects and in things that I have gained experience and knowledge and now want to use them. And when I was doing what I was doing before, whether it was equestrian championships or training or some other projects or sports, well, naturally, that was what I knew then. I didn't know the stuff that I have trained and came to know and experienced in this span of life that I'm now here, all through which I have gained knowledge of certain kind, which I didn't have when I was so busy with horseback riding and other things. I had a different age, different responsibility level, different goals, different understanding, different maturity, different way of perceiving the world and thinking how I want it to be. And then I set out to make that happen. And then through time and this journey, I found that some of the things are just not going to be feasible, or they're not economically viable, or they're not really going to pay off as it should to provide the kind of lifestyle I wanted to, or some things changed and new responsibilities came. I had to adjust, I had to adopt, I had to, become a stronger or different or more wise or knowledgeable or experienced about things that I didn't need when I was much younger. Now that I have all that, well, I can see I'm more capable than what I was then to limit myself to all those activities that I was involved in when I was much younger. And I can see I can produce and help and affect the world in a different way. And my preferences is now here, is this, with me, the new me, the new and improved me than how raw and limited in my information I was at the time. So my future, although there are certain things that I was better in the past, physically played better tennis, more vigorous and competitive tennis, or soccer as a goalie, I don't want to do all those things anymore. But I have many other expertise that I never even dreamed I had. But it was in the making, because my interest was to prepare myself for something. I didn't know what, but I followed my interest. And my interest brought me here. And at this point, I can't say my best years are behind me. The years behind me helped me to be here, which this is the combination of what I was and what I am, which is actually represents the best of me now. Yeah, in some things I'm not as good as before. In some things I'm much better than before. But isn't that how it is every time? 10 years ago, you were good at some things, but you were not good at some other things. Now, you're not as good as some things maybe in the past, but you're much better at some things that you were in the past. So there is a whole combination of balance, acting, bringing balance to your life. And with understanding where you are, what you have accomplished, you can project, you can create a better than your best years to be in front of you because of your knowledge, your experience, your wisdom, your ability to deal with things. You listen, 10 years ago you didn't go through a breakup after 10 years marriage. Now you know how it is. Now you're wise. Now you can see things better. All that knowledge is superior in many ways to how you were 10 years ago. Not everything is about physical or certain opportunities that you saw it was best for you in the past, because different opportunities are palatable to you now because you're a different person at this moment. So you don't compare yourself to how you were thinking 10 years ago, and that's why you think my best years are in the past, because that's what you wanted 10 years ago. That's how you passed it. But you've done that, and now with the experiences you have now, your best years can just be ahead of you. And I believe it is ahead of you. 34 years old? It's just getting close to the best times of your life. The best time and the strongest time in your life is between 40 and 55. You're still just in preparation. In strength, in wisdom, in experience, in knowing really what life could be all about, what you really are seeking, how to taste an ice cream better than you did 10 years ago. You can appreciate things more because you have more value for things. You're more seasoned, you're more balanced, you're thoughtful. You can see things like you have a better lens of glass. Things are more clear. This is what makes your future much brighter and more hopeful. And that's what you should bank on. Not to some pleasure and some things that were bringing you a certain comfort through certain order that you were accustomed to, because of a certain kind of a mechanical process that you were used to, getting up and your wife and your children or whatever, I don't know if there are children involved or not, and do this with your wife, say this to your wife, and do some kind of a interaction, and then have your tea or coffee, and then she goes about her business, you go about your day, and then you guys, come back again in the evening and talk and chat or go places, see, and exercise or whatever it is that you guys were into, had created a certain kind of a rhythm in your day, which is the mechanical process. Through that mechanical process, you had created an order which you were not used to before you guys got married. But when you guys got married, eventually, while your order was interfering with her order and her order of life was interfering with yours because you were still accustomed to your single life order, but eventually in your marriage, you compromised and you created a new order. And in 10 years, you got used to that new order being the order that you could understand and you could follow and you could enjoy, and you were conditioned to feel comfortable and bring about that elusive psychological security. Your mind, through mechanical process, creates an order, and that order brings you a certain kind of a confidence, a feeling of security. You're used to that order. So what's really making you imbalanced is the fact that that order, which was done through two people, it wasn't like the order you had before you guys got together. It was a single order. Everything you were doing it on your own. It was all up to you. But then when the new order, which when you guys got together, came into the picture, it took two people to make that order work. Now, you guys have been divorced. That order is shattered. That order is not in place. So you kind of feel lost. And you think that was bringing you comfort and psychological security in some ways, was actually your preference. No, it was your conditioning. Not that it was the best time of your life. It was how you were conditioned to feel comfortable and secure and know how things were. So you had created an order which was known to you. Now you have a different order, a single life order, and it's not known to you yet. And many things are different. You seem to be more comfortable then because that was your rhythm. Now the rhythm has changed. It's like you were dancing to reggae. Now suddenly it's changed to a disco of different kind. And now you got to change rhythm. It takes you a while to figure out the rhythm of the music, unless you're really good like I was and just change the tune. And that's how you should be. It's just a music change. The dancer is still expert. Listen to the tune, change the rhythm, and change the moves. You will be again in balance with the new tune. You will find your equilibrium. You will find your order. You will be happy again because it was you who helped to create that other order that you're used to it now, and you're now reminiscing and thinking. It was you who architected that kind of lifestyle. So can you again architect a new lifestyle, maybe with another person when the time is right and when the candidate is right. But in the meantime, understand that what you're missing is the order, not her. You were conditioned with that order, which she was part of it. It is the order that you miss. Now, of course, I understand the emotional things and, sexual and intimacy and all that other stuff that you guys have history together. But that will all go because human beings' nature and expertise is to forget about painful things and forget about things that is no longer there. And you will, on this case as well, you will forget. Until then, recognize that this is not end of the world and not a devastation. Is the fact that you're confused and your order has changed and you feel unbalanced. That's all. It's like you're in the boat rowing and you just change your position from this end of the boat to the other. And the boat is wobbling and you say, holy shit, there's a tsunami. There's no tsunami. It's just off balance. Just settle down, simply, easily sit down and look. Everything is okay. The rows are there, the boat is there, and you are in command. Get on the rows, find the rhythm. Find the rhythm and row over and row, and you will begin to see, holy shit, there's so much wonderful things in this ocean, and there are lots of islands, I can park and stop and find coconuts or whatever else. So there are lots of wonderful things that you can look ahead for. Don't be so disappointed. It is only a matter of finding your balance again. And with the stuff that we just talked about and many other things on this channel, over 1,100 videos now, you should be able to find answers to some of the emotional challenges that you're going through. And make sure you go to on my site, mind@6truth.com, and pick up that book, Me, My Psyche, and I. It's a wonderful book. It's now an ebook version, costs you pretty much zero. It's only, what, I don't know, $5.99, where it's the print is $80. So that is something I've done for everybody to be able to afford that book. Definitely is not an economic agenda. There's no real economic agenda realized here. It's very nominal because I want everybody to have it. So have it in your library, refer to it, look at things that off balances you, about fear, desire, ego, your center, your thoughts and consciousness, and the relationship between the two. These are what makes you see things the way you do. And instead of being with the actuality in the moment and understanding what you're all about, you focus on the things that are affecting you rather than why you're being affected that way, why you're thinking that way. So if you go through the chapters on that book, which you can choose chapters independently, they're not connected, and enjoy reading them whenever you feel like it, you will get to know more about yourself, and you will understand your powers, your connection to the nature, your connection to your destiny, how you can shape it, how you can change it, how you can administer or manage changes and be able to find your balance again. So I hope that is something helpful to you, and we go on to the next question.